quickly would you say you guys adjusted to the uni style of essay?
2
I'd say
years.
it takes a bit of an adjustment. I'm still adjusting. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am joined today by my brother and his flatmate. This is Dagan and this is Daniel. And we are going to be talking about our uni experiences and comparing them. We thought this would be really useful for you guys, so let's get into it. Why don't we talk about like our first semesters at uni, because I think your first semester is like a really unique time.
So my first semester was really good. I went to Castle Saunders Hall, which is near Fitzrovia, kind of Oxford Circus area, Warren Street. And
Very central.
Very central, yeah. Daniel also lived in Castle Saunders, but we lived there in different years. And that was a great time. I met so many amazing people. Some of my closest friends are the people on that floor. Like I was on the 4th floor of the hall, and they're still some of my closest friends today, and that's like 3-4 years later. I think it's because I went to halls that I had such a good experience, and like that really forced me into meeting everyone. I think this happens to everyone when you go to uni. You have friends that you meet only for the first week, 2 weeks, and then you're like, oh, why was I hanging out with these people?
You'll see so many people in the first few weeks, like freshers. You just be like, hi, 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 and then 2 weeks later, no one will remember your name, and you don't remember anyone's name. But then after that, you'll figure out who your people are.
I had a similar experience. I was in Castle Saunders, floor 5.
Floor 4.
I feel like people's satisfaction at LSE really depends on the hall they went to, and
That's
on
quite
if they manage to integrate into it, because there are some halls at LSE which are just not very tight-knit and not very social.
Are you gonna name and shame?
Yeah,
People
no.
need that advice.
Don't go to the really expensive ones.
Right.
The really expensive ones have a lot of facilities, like a personal gym, like a pool, blah blah, but they're quite antisocial.
So on paper,
Yes,
they're
very
amazing,
true.
but
Let's just say this: any hall that has double rooms will be a good shout. You don't have to take the double room.
Any hall that offers that facility is probably a very social, very fun.
right,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
That's a tip.
Yeah.
Double rooms.
I mean, why don't we just name and shame the halls?
No.
Why not?
Name.
Alright,
Yeah.
best ones: Bankside, Castle Saunders, Passfield. What else? Rosebery. Those 4. That's those 4. Nothing else.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere
The others
else.
some of the others are okay. High Holman's good too.
Okay, so what about making friends outside of your halls? Does that even happen in first year?
Yeah, loads.
Yeah.
Join a society. Like Maria said, find your people. You'll find your people by joining societies.
For sure.
Join societies and sports clubs. Try out everything and just see who you
stick
enjoy and
to
who
it,
you like. Yeah,
because
stick to it.
if you hate it, which you might, you're gonna feel so different in your first semester. Like you're not gonna feel completely unbalanced, but sticking to it is what's gonna really give you the opportunity to see if it's any good. Actually,
I disagree.
Ooh.
I mean, if you want to become head of a society or then you should stick with it. But the great thing about being in any sports society at LSE is that we meet up a lot. There's a lot of socials, and you will meet everyone else from the sports society if you're a social member in them, and you can go to socials of other societies just by asking.
Yeah, you're not limited to your own society.
That's really
Yeah.
nice. I don't think it's as much open in Edinburgh. Like I remember there'll be like, oh, so and so's doing a pub crawl, but you won't know anyone there. Like, do you really want to be there? I didn't really go along to stuff that wasn't for my society.
Usually you have to know someone from the social. You can join and be a social member, but you have to kind of commit. You can't just turn up once and then just like go to the socials.
Regardless, we recommend doing a sport.
A lot of societies, especially at LSE, do a give it a go kind of thing at the start, and they let you just do give it a try sessions where you don't have to pay for anything, you just come and try it out. When I first joined, I joined like 15 to 20 societies, maybe more.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I really joined everything, and like they're so cheap. It's like £1-2 a membership for the year.
2.
Everything that interests me vaguely, I joined. Then I was on the news list, and I get all the information sent to me.
Yeah.
And then I would pick about 3 to 5 that I really enjoyed, and I would go to those ones, and then I would kind of fizzle it down more and more, and then by the end of the year you want your top 3, top 5, and that's kind of what you like.
That's a good strategy. I'd
So
say.
that way I got to try everything. Like now, like my favorite thing is dance, and I love dance, and that was because I found dance in my second year, and I didn't find that at all in my first.
And also that's a good tip. You might find your thing in second year and it might be different from your first year thing, so you can keep trying things out. It's not weird if you join a society in second year. They're not going to be like, why didn't you come in freshers? Like that's just weird.
Just
You're
want
a
more
second year.
members.
They're
They're
literally like
begging for more members.
Yeah. Now we've spoken a bit about social life, and now we're going to talk about a bit more about academics. The LSE is known to be more of a demanding university, whereas Edinburgh is still a Russell Group university, but I think it's okay to say it's a bit more lax.
So for us, everything counts from the very beginning. And
From
it really,
first year?
Yeah,
With
everything.
all-
Not every essay, no. You have formatives and summatives. Formatives don't count,
Right.
they're just for feedback.
Oh.
And summatives count. But
Okay.
in first year, what your final grade counts towards your overall degree. Whereas in Edinburgh and even like many other unis, it's only the third year.
In Edinburgh, you have 2 years to do whatever.
Yeah, here like you can't relax. If you relax, your degree is in jeopardy.
Your first year counts 1/9 to your degree, and then your 2 subsequent years are 4/9 each.
So it's a
4/13.
small percentage, but it will impact if you get like a 2-2, then
Yeah,
it'll
in
be
first
harder,
year
yeah.
you can mess about because there's only 1/13. It's very small, 1/9 for most people.
But it does
in
keep you on your
second-
toes.
It keeps you on your toes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I think that has its advantages and disadvantages, I would say, because at Edinburgh, I feel like first year I just didn't take it seriously. I was like, it doesn't count, I have time to do whatever. I was just making sure I passed everything. In second year, I said, okay, I'm gonna actually try and get my first, so I'm prepared for third year. What about you guys? Would you say it was good to be on form right away, or you would have preferred to chill?
I definitely would have preferred if it was all in third year, but that's because I tend to do better as time goes on. I like to just learn the ropes. I don't like to be tested at the beginning.
Yeah.
But for other students, I think it's probably a good thing.
I think it depends on the subject. I feel like for social sciences, having all the exams at the end might be nicer, because
Yeah.
you get to just read through everything, and then you're tested at the end. So being tested early is being thrown in the water, thrown in the deep end pretty quickly.
How quickly would you say you guys adjusted to the uni style of essay and exam style compared to in high school? Because
2
I'd say
years.
it takes a bit of an adjustment. I'm still adjusting.
Yeah.
2 years.
I'd say I've definitely got it now, but at the start, it was hit and miss. So I would have it for some because I do 3 things as well. I do like philosophy, politics, and
same.
economics. So it does depend on what module, which department I'm in.
Yeah.
Because each department in PPE assesses you differently.
Yeah,
So for a
yeah.
philosophy essay, you write it differently to how you write a politics essay.
Even the referencing for me is different.
The first year was definitely like a learning process. I remember the maths was just insanely difficult
Mm.
because most of the degrees at LSE are BScs, so it's
Yeah,
very
so it's more
mathematical, very
mathematical.
analytical.
So that's Bachelor of Science.
Yeah.
Mine's a Bachelor of Art. So
Bachelor
it's
of
more-
Art here.
Yeah.
One of the only at LSE as well. Yeah.
So what are your tips to get into, getting your firsts, getting your high 2-1s in your essay writing?
Most universities have a service for students. LSE has one called LSE Life. Use it.
Taking works
I
They,
work there.
they provide essay guidance, and I didn't use them in my first year because I thought I was too clever for them. But turns out I'm not, and I recommend you all use them.
Yeah, LSE Life's great, honestly. They are there to bridge the gap between sixth form or just pre-university and university study. The people there, the advisors, offer their service all for free, and you can book 1-to-1 30-minute meetings with study advisors who have done masters or PhDs at LSE or professors. They will literally read through your essays, go through structure, help you with anything, citation, referencing, or I've got a presentation tomorrow or in like a week. How can I do my presentation? Can I practice with you? Literally anything.
Yeah.
They're there for that kind of pastoral support.
The uni does really does so much if you take advantage of it, and
Right.
that's I feel like that people that come to LSE and don't take advantage of these services are missing out, and I feel like that's where much of the low student satisfaction maybe comes from.
Yeah.
So it's not thrown in your face, you have to search it out, seek it out.
LSE Life is promoted a lot more now.
At Edinburgh, essays try from the beginning. Don't have my mentality. Practice makes perfect, honestly, and definitely get your friends to mark essays. Seek out
Yeah.
advice from
Top
older
tip.
students.
Top tip.
Friends
Yeah.
need to mark your essays.
Because even when you proofread, your eyes are lazy. Like there will
Very
still
true.
be mistakes in there, and then you submit it and you look stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you submitting
We
with so
send
many
each other our
mistakes?
essays. We do different subjects, and I still read through his
Yeah.
essays.
Yeah.
You read through mine.
Because at the end of the day, it's academic writing. It's like, yeah, you do your degree, but what do you really get out of it? The ability to think critically, write academically. Even though the content varies, the structure's very much what they're asking for is the same quality.
When you do your first year assignments and when you do your first year readings, especially if you're in social science, really think about what you're reading.
Oh yeah,
And
reading.
really, you don't have to read a lot. Just what you do read. Try and think about what you're reading, and try and really understand it, because that's. I felt like I flew over way too many readings in first
Yeah.
year.
I think we should take time with our reading.
Yeah, just take time, do fewer readings. That's what I would have preferred.
I would say when you first come to uni, you are bombarded with read I don't know, 3 articles which may be 30 pages long for each tutorial, and you're just like, I wouldn't say you have to read them all, but then don't get to the point of just completely skipping over readings and just coasting, because then you're not actually learning that much.
In first year, I went overboard. So when I first came, I felt like I had to read everything on the list. So I read a whole book in like the first week. And then ever since then, I didn't read a single book.
Yeah,
like I did do my readings afterwards, but I realized you don't have to read absolutely everything. You have to be smart about what you're reading. So what sections are the most relevant? Which sections answer the question I've been set this week? And how can I best make an argument?
I would say it can feel quite overwhelming at the start. And a lot of it you might not even understand. One lecturer told me, if the reading is not clear and coherent, then it's badly written. It's not you a lot of the time. Don't feel stupid, and don't feel like that you're not supposed to be there, because you're there for a reason. Don't undervalue yourself.
Yeah, that's a big thing at LSE too. A lot of people feel daunted by the expectation, the pressure, and just thinking they have to be Superman.
Yeah.
Many people actually feel some sort of competition from others, and they don't like that either.
How so? Can you expand on that? Is it between peers?
So at LSE, everyone's quite smart, right? Everyone who gets in has good predicted grades, and they had good grades achieved. So some students are quite competitive for that, not for that reason, but because every exam is really, really difficult, and so I don't know, they just safeguard their answers.
So they're not sharing, they're more
yeah, I don't know, but that's a small subsection of students, and if you make good friends, then you'll have a great network of people that will literally send you their essays when they did modules before. If you don't have a good network of friends, you'll probably get worse grades overall at uni. Friends are useful.
What goes around comes around. If you're going to be
if you share with people, you help people, you'll get helped, rather than just saying, okay, I want to do the best I can. If I help people, that might make my grade worse. That won't help anyone.
Yeah, I'd say Edinburgh as a uni, the environment is not ultra competitive. I think it helps that first and second year don't count as well. I don't feel like grades are always spoken about that much, actually. Yeah, what's it like in the classroom? Do you guys talk about grades?
Not in the classroom, but people definitely do talk about grades, or what grades other people got.
People care about their grades.
Yeah, it's taken quite seriously.
I barely know any of my friends' grades. And actually, I think it's good to talk about your grades, because then it encourages you to do better. I remember I heard my friend got a 78 in her essay in German, and I was like, oh, I only got a 65 last time. I'm going to try and get a 70 next time, because if someone's done it, then I can do it. So I think it is good to encourage that atmosphere, but don't go overboard.
And if you know someone that's got a very good grade on an essay, you can always ask them for advice.
Yeah, literally just
and
can I read your
essay.
essay?
It's not like we look down on people if they get bad grades. It's more just if someone does really well, you'll know they did really well, that you'll hear about it, and that can be quite useful, especially if they're in the year above and they can give you tips, and you're currently doing a module they did last year and they did very well. That's gold dust. That's actually gold dust.
Make friends with people in the year above. Best done through societies.
Yeah. And your department, getting involved in your department.
So career prospects at LSE, is it expected that you're all gonna, be graduated on a major grad scheme?
This is a crazy thing about LSE, and it's completely different to almost any other university in the UK, even Oxbridge. There's a very big career focus or career pushing kind of atmosphere around the university. And then everyone's talking about internships, spring weeks, which are these small weeks at banks or consulting firms from very early on. People get very sad if they don't get internship in their first year or their second year, and that's really not the be all and end all. You'll definitely be fine. You go to a very good university, and that's where some of the toxic competitiveness can come from. That kind of thing is very toxic. A lot of people are mature enough to get past that, and some people just take it a bit too seriously. This is probably one of the best places to go if you want to get a good career. And that we have very high graduate salaries.
It's almost guaranteed, isn't it?
Typically people get employed afterwards, and a lot of people get very, very high earning jobs from LSE. Because not only are you at a very good university, but you're in London as well. And London is where all the big businesses and all the companies are. So you're very close proximity to where exactly you want to be afterwards.
For networking, it's really good to be in London.
You're next to Canary Wharf, you're next to all the big firms, the fintech centre of London, and that's what gives you an edge over other unis that are higher ranked.
Yeah, so Edinburgh is obviously all the way in Scotland, and then for English people watching coming up and then wanting to probably work in London, I wouldn't say Edinburgh is considered as highly as the London universities, just because they don't know us. We're so far away. Edinburgh to London is 4.5 hours on a fast train. Your job prospects are still very high when you graduate, but it's definitely not the same.
One thing about LSE, the fact that it's very job focused, is it really pushes you into thinking about what sort of career you want to do if you haven't thought about that. And if you already know what career you want to do, even better, then this is the perfect place for you.
I've literally thought about every career because I've been at LSE. Because you just stay exposed to so much.
Yeah, at Edinburgh it's not the same. It's so much more relaxed. So if you come to uni or before uni and you're thinking, I just want a great uni experience, I do care about studying, you don't want to be maybe put under such a high pressure environment, then Edinburgh is good for you. I think you have to be very independent and self-driven at a place like Edinburgh. So I did do an internship in my first year, so it does happen, but it's not like all of your friends are doing that. Do you want to be pushed, or would you rather push yourself? So now we're gonna finish the video. I want each of you to give me 3 words to describe your uni.
Opportunity, diversity, and intensity. Opportunity, because you will get so many opportunities that you wouldn't have got in other places, and it will really define probably the rest of your life. Diversity, we have the most international students, 70% plus, and intense, it's intense. And if you do some some of the more intense programs like economics or law, they expect you to be really good and expect you to be putting lots of effort in. But it's rewarding, it's super rewarding. Like when you graduate, you'll be able to work harder than most people that you're competing with for jobs, because you've just been used to working super hard.
Encouraging, enjoyable, and good looking. So I'd say it's encouraging because it's a good atmosphere. You enjoy your experience that is there. It's just a really nice atmosphere. Everyone seems to have each other's backs. You're at uni and you're having a nice time, whether it's socially or academically. It's still part of the Russell group, so yeah, I'd say it looks good ultimately.
I don't think I'm gonna give 3 words, but I'm gonna add something to Dagan's. I think that LSE cares about you less as a student as other universities would, but that's not the idea. The idea is that it's got all these things for you to explore and all these opportunities for you to engage in, and it opens the door for a lot of things, but it won't open the door for you. You have to take the first step.
Yeah, that's
perfect.
Nice. That's nice. Okay guys, so thank you so much for watching. We really hope that we've helped enlighten and fill some gaps of what you may have perceived about Edinburgh and the LSE. I hope we've cleared up some things for you guys.
Come to LSE.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.